The second question was from Michael Korschek from Arlington, Virginia. We said, what steps can you take to help accelerate the expansion of renewable energy? Well, thanks very much. It's a great question, and it's one we worry about every day. The good news is in the big omnibus spending bill that we passed last December 2015, we extended, I think for 5 years, 6 years each, the solar tax credits and the wind tax credits. And those have been very helpful. The price of solar and the price of wind have just been plummeting. If you looked at it on a chart, solar especially has almost been the cost per unit, a steeply down tilting curve. I believe the number is we created 90,000 new solar industry jobs in America last year. And not to be cavalier, but there apparently has been well documented more workers in the solar energy industry today than there are coal miners. Now, some of that has to do with the fact that the price of natural gas is so low that we're not mining a lot of coal. But we'll do everything to keep pushing forward. Among these things, by the way, is Dominion Power has renewed its interest in building the first Atlantic offshore wind farm off the shore of Virginia Beach. And we're strongly supportive of that as long as they can make the math work and the environmental impacts are as low as we expect them to be. It can make a really big difference. And I will continue to do my best this year and years to come, as long as I have a chance to serve you, to push for pricing carbon to match its true price in our economy. We really do need something like a carbon fee, a carbon cap. I'm particularly fond of legislation which Chris Van Hollen has sponsored in the years past. I hope that I will be the lead sponsor of it in the House if I'm reelected next year. And the carbon cap and economic dividend bill sets a price of about $15 per ton of carbon dioxide. It raises a lot of money, but then gives 100% of it back to the American people. So it's revenue neutral, doesn't make government any bigger at all. In fact, it will probably make government a lot smaller because we'll be able to give up on some of the regulations because the market will handle it itself. And the money is given back in an equal amount to every American that has a Social Security number. So I'll get the same as each one of you who are watching this tonight. And the idea there is that the general dilemma with something like a carbon cap is it may be regressive, that somebody who makes a smaller income and has to live farther away from home will get hit harder because they have a bigger gasoline bill, for example. When you give it back per person, it actually becomes progressive. And people on the lower income level get back more than they put in. And only those with the 10,000 square foot house and the boat and the airplane and the really big SUVs are going to put in more money than they get back. By the way, about a third of that is paid by corporations. None of that would be directly back to the corporations, but rather to individual citizens. So it's a very positive way. Virtually every economist, Democrat, Republican, from the left to the right, believes the best way to manage greenhouse gases is let the market forces do it. And by the way, so to get around to this question, Michael's, how do we stimulate the expansion of renewable energy? Well, if we appropriately price carbon, we make solar energy, wind energy, turbine energy, all these others, geothermal, much more cost effective relative to carbon-based fuels. And that will be a very big thing. We really expect explosions in those industries once we get the price of carbon to where it should be. And by the way, if we believe in saving the planet and we see the impacts of climate change virtually everywhere, this is the best way to do it.